Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Game Bros Station, the Game Bros cast, and our look at the Netflix movie Next Gen. Take it away, Matt.
That's right, Jared. We're going to be talking about a Netflix movie. Now, normally when I do movie reviews, I do first thoughts, but I'm super busy, and I want to share it with all my buddies here, considering Mark loves doing the Netflix shows, don't you, Marky boy?
I live for it.
Yes, and Jared wanted to check this out, too, because he likes robots all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, get excited, you little... But anyway, we're going to be talking about Netflix's movie, Next Gen. What's Next Gen? It's about a rebellious girl and a runaway combat robot unite to stop a madman's technological plan for world domination. Ooh.
But just to make sure we get out of the way, technically it's a comic book movie!
Yes, it is actually. It's based off a comic book series called the 7723 by, I forget the name of the crazy person, but... I believe it's of Chinese origin.
Yes.
I actually remember when we were watching this movie, I was trying to look up some of the history of this film. And it's really strange. I don't know what's going on here. Let's see.
Well, there's not a lot of information available. It's really snippets.
Yeah, it's based off the comic 7723 by Wang Nima.
Mm-hmm.
I might be mispronouncing that.
Apologies.
And it was... produced by a whole bunch of folks, and it was a joint project, I believe, between a Chinese company and Canada and a few other folks. That was a really united artist kind of movie.
Yeah, and the comic is now banned in China.
Yeah, apparently I looked that up. It was like it was banned in China, and upon Netflix release, it'll be available everywhere except China.
Yeah, so very interesting production history. Made even a little more interesting by the fact that really there's not much to it, maybe because it got banned. You know, who knows?
Well, don't quote us on us, but we saw some articles that was saying like it was making fun of a communist hero or something.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into the politics of that. We're just going to talk straight up about the movie.
No, yeah. But
which, like I said, it's a movie about a young girl who had kind of in a broken family growing up. Her father left her and her mother, and then he passed away. This is all within the first 10 minutes of the movie, folks, so don't worry whether this is spoilers or not.
Yeah, this is the opening credits, so quite honestly.
Yeah, but so growing up, she kind of develops this inner rage, this anger, so she becomes like a straight-up rebel. And especially in her teenage years, she's just full of that anger and hormonal imbalance and
angst.
Yeah, pretty much. So eventually, she meets up with this strange robot, not like the other robots that are being advertised by this random-ass company. Mm-hmm. And she decides to use this robot to exact her revenge against her bullies and other contraptions around the normal world that seem to upset her because teenager reasons and logic.
Well, she's mad at people because she lost her father, and she's mad at robots because her mother kind of filled her life afterwards with robots. And
thinking that was the best way to resolve her loneliness.
No, of course.
So that's the general movie, but as the film goes on, we start to learn of its comic book baseness, as there's actually a bad guy planning evil shit. And they gotta go past their moral dilemma between her and the robot, 7723. They didn't really give it a legit name.
No.
She just kept saying, oh, it's my friend, or... stupid robot. And
we had captions on because the audio mixing on this is a little hit or miss. And after that point, it just keeps referring to it as 7723. So I guess for all intents and purposes, that's its name.
Yeah, we'll just call him 77.
Yeah.
And yeah, so eventually it becomes an action-oriented kids movie with a lot more darker themes than I expected. Which I like that. I don't like it when kid movies are unrealistic and everyone's saying, gosh darn it, I lost.
Yeah.
So, anyway, let's go straight into the review. Mark, what did you think of this 3D animated original movie by Netflix, which they gave this studio $30 million or purchased it for $30 million and allowed them to kind of do whatever the vision of the directors wanted to do?
Well, you know, I won't lie. I went into this after looking at the trailer, and, you know, there is a bit of a hit or miss sometimes with Netflix original programming.
Especially the movies.
Especially the movies. And I went in there kind of with really low expectations, and maybe that helped. But overall, I honestly think I wound up liking it a lot more than I ever would. I think it's a very interesting film. a lot of people are going to compare it to things like Big Hero 6 or even other, Kid in the Robot movies, like even the Iron Giant and even the Incredibles to a degree. It has a lot of influences from all kinds of different media. Like if you've ever seen a kid in a robot in anything, you're going to get a lot of that in this movie. But really the weirdest comparison to make is that in the beginning credits, like if you want to call this a Disney ripoff, in the beginning credits, one of the companies that backed this pretty much just rips off the lamp from Aladdin wholesale with blue smoke and everything.
Dude,
I was like,
there's a lot of rips in this movie.
Yeah. But like the movie in itself is good, but I was just like thinking, because a lot of people were complaining about it even when the trailer came out, that it was like a ripoff of Big Hero 6 or whatever. I was like, wow, we haven't even got to the actual movie and the Disney ripoff is in the credits.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot going on. Hey, Jared, why don't you give me some of your general thoughts on the movie before we get into more details?
Sure. So I inadvertently saw the trailer for this movie.
I think we all did. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like, it was just in passing, sort of. I'm like, oh, okay, they're doing this thing, and it's whatever. I honestly thought it was for a TV show, like a Netflix original series kind of a thing, because that's the vibe I got. And I was like, oh, that's cute. I didn't realize it was a movie. I'm okay with it. Like, it's not horrible, and it definitely wears its source material on its sleeve in a way where, like, it's very Big Hero 6. It's very Wall-E-esque in a sort of way, minus the whole lethargy narrative. There's a lot of things that it borrows from, but overall, it's not horrible. It's decently made. Some of the facial animations put me a little bit off because I'm like, I don't know, it just put me a little off. But overall, I thought it was okay. I thought it was a decent movie.
Very good. Yeah, I think we're all in the same boat here, is that generally we thought it was okay. Mm-hmm. There were definitely some stronger moments, and there were definitely some missteps. Like, I'll echo your statements there, Jared. To me, the biggest con for me as an animator is the facial animation on a lot of the humans. They were just like stiff as French.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And especially with like I almost said Mai. I almost said Mai again. The caption spells it M-A-I, and I keep going Mai. It's like, no, it's May. May's face is pretty stiff as hell, as well as her mother, Molly. Mm-hmm. And the only characters who really seem to have like expressiveness, sort of, is Dr. Tanning and Justin, the antagonist of the movie. I don't know why I'm air quoting here. Yeah. And it just bothered me so much, like how stiff it was. But I remember telling you guys partway through when Justin was doing his Steve Jobs promotion on Gen 6, Genesis robots. His body animation I thought was actually pretty solid. Like the way he moved, he expressed himself during like certain inflections of his words. I thought that was good. But again, when it came to the faces, I don't know if I'm just spoiled by Disney's Glen Keane Deformer rigs or anything, but I really wish they would push the expressions more. Give them bigger scowls, grins, things like that. And so, generally, I thought it was an okay movie. It definitely has its hiccups and its pros. It almost kind of has like that Angry Birds vibe to me, where it has potential. People behind this movie know what kind of story they want to tell, what kind of message they want to do, but they lack the cinematic experience said DreamWorks or Disney or Pixar has to tell a cohesive story to a general going audiences. Okay, so now before we get more into details, I want to kind of go around here and do a little bit open discussions. Mark, I want to see, is there any like big highlights for you personally that you kind of want to point out, whether if they're pros or cons about this movie?
Yeah, well, right off the bat, I actually really liked a lot of the character designs in this movie. It has a bit of the character designs actually have a little more of a Leica quality, where there are some hard lines and the character models and everything. And that was really cool. I do think that the sort of not pushing the animation a little further in terms of expressions hinders it a little bit. But I do actually like spoiler alert, there is a quote unquote twist villain, since we seem to have that in all the animated films these days. But I actually liked it. I was happy when I called it, and it was actually I'm just happy with it. And I think that's kind of the biggest shock and takeaway. Now, yeah, and it's worth it. I think, if you this is just positive stuff, so I won't get into negative stuff yet. But yeah, I think the positive stuff is that I'm actually able to say positive things about this movie.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's definitely a good thing to say. But it's like, I would be lying if I was like, it's just some cheap ass animation that's not Pixar or Disney, DreamWorks. Screw those guys.
No, you can see this meant a lot to somebody working on this production.
Yeah, which is actually kind of funny because I remember looking up an article and the director said that thanks to work with Netflix, he wanted to create a movie that's not only like for kids, but have some of that Marvel action quality to it. And Netflix was willing to take that risk with him and his production. So I thought that was really cool. And I agree with you. The Leica design, especially with Justin.
Particularly Justin exemplifies it the most.
Yeah, especially throughout the whole thing. I will agree with you and disagree with you in some cases about the designs, though. Like, I thought Molly and May's design, yes, they were alike, but I also thought they were kind of generic, big-headed characters. And I remember seeing the trailer, and I was afraid it was going to be another one of those, like, DreamWorks home awkward close-up kind of movies. And I will say, on the visual side of things, this is my con a little bit, is I thought some of the visuals were, like, fantastic, but some of them didn't work. Like, I thought the eye shine with some of the characters, especially with May. Her eyes seemed a little too reflective and awkward in some shots.
It's the big anime eye kind of thing.
It was very strange, but like I said, I agree with you. I also like Dr. Tanning, the David Cross character. I thought his pupils were just a little too big.
Yeah, a little bit.
And while I get the kind of character, he's supposed to be like the Dr. Light or the, making comparison to other anime movies, Astro Boy, the 3D movie, the good doctor.
There's definitely a lot of Astro Boy and even Mega Man in this too. There's a lot of everything. Anyone who says it's just one thing is wrong.
No, it's a lot of things. We saw a lot of comparisons.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just, I thought the designs weren't best with the humans. But again, Justin and a few other characters, I thought they really exceeded. But like I said, visually, it looked great. The action was really good. I actually kind of liked the grainy filter effect we got throughout the whole movie.
A little bit, yeah.
I kind of thought, oh man, that's going to go underappreciated. And I don't know, it just looked pretty good in that aspect. But like I said, the facial animations, they weren't deformer rigs or anything. They weren't pushed. I don't know. Jared, is there any positives or negative points you want to elaborate more on?
Yeah, no, like, we haven't gone negatives yet, but like, overall, I like this a lot more than I thought I was going to. Like, just, again, I thought it was going to be like a series kind of thing, and originally I thought it was going to work better as that, but the movie was okay. Okay, so a good chunk of it has okay pacing, like the pacing's fine, but some things at the end just speed up. It's like, oh, resolve this, cool, resolve this, and keep going, and end. And, you know, we brought that up in many other, like, looks at movies and stuff. Pacing, when it speeds up like that, it's kind of like, oh, damn it, guys.
If I can interject real quick to agree with you, I want to see if you guys agree with me on this. I actually thought there was one set of scenes that were happening in the first third of the movie that I thought was really bizarre. So the movie pretty much begins with May and her mother going to this conference, and we just kind of had the whole up thing where we saw her life leading up to that event. They do that whole thing, meets the robot, kind of splits up. And then we get a series of scenes of May in her normal life doing her whole stuff, living, doing all that, gets home, and then that's when the plot kicks up again.
Yeah.
That kind of bothered me a little bit. I kind of wish that was before the conference.
That would have flowed a little better.
Because when it comes to fundamentals of telling a story, it's like usually you want to show your character in their daily life before the change happens that puts them through their series of tests. And it was strange to me. It's like, okay, we established that this is where she came from. We're just going to kick off the story and tell you this is the whole thing. Let's do it. But we're going to interject a little bit here and just tell you what her normal life was. And I felt like that wasn't really necessary.
Yeah.
Not to the extent, but looking at it as a whole, I would have preferred you just put that before the conference started. So pacing-wise, yes, I do kind of agree with you. The pacing was kind of weird, but also kind of felt knitted together in a weird way, script-wise.
Yeah. But besides that, like, I really actually like the design of most of the things in this movie. Like, there's varying types of robots in this thing, and they're all unique. They all have their own thing. We see like with the police robots, we see like three or so variants of them, where like some are just kind of bean poles that tell you to pull over because you're speeding. Some are like security bots, and then you've got the higher we have missiles and bullets kind of military. And then there's even like drones and stuff. And so like there's varying types of robots. It's not just one type. Yes, the Apple Place IQ, whatever the hell robotics.
Yeah, IQ. That's what
that
it was
was
called.
They
Completely forgot.
Yeah.
like obviously they're Apple, so they got like the whole every phone quote unquote looks the same with their robots. But it's easy to distinguish and make sense of it all when you're seeing them all on the screen.
Yeah. Okay, folks. So now, before we wrap up on this little review thing, I actually do want to throw this out to the table here and ask, because upon my research of this thing, I have heard some criticism about this movie already. And I'm quite curious to see, what are your overall thoughts, Mark, on May, the character, going through what she does in this movie and what her resolve eventually becomes? Without giving away spoilers, did you understand what her character was supposed to be, and do you think they executed it well?
I think I understand where her character was supposed to be. She's been through some things, and she's at the age where, you kind of are, processing a lot of things in addition to all the other things that have happened to you in life. So she's got a little of that teen angst, I think. Yes, sure. How well it's resolved, I think it does a serviceable job in doing it. Does it do an immaculate, like, you're never going to forget this? Maybe not so much. But I think what it sets up, it resolves well enough that you can enjoy it and, not necessarily be too bent out of shape if it doesn't, meet your wildest expectations.
Do you concur, Jared, or have anything to add?
Yeah, I agree with that. I went in not knowing what to expect, and again, kind of like I mentioned earlier, it wears a lot of its reference material on its sleeve, which in some cases can hurt a thing, but I think it was okay for this. I don't know. Overall, I was fine with it, and then okay movie.
I'll wrap up in here and say, yes, I believe I completely understand that she is supposed to be unlikable. She is a rebellious teen. She wants to exact revenge and believes in eye for an eye mentality. And that is exercised a lot within this movie. And her companion, Robot 77, obviously helps her achieve some of those things, but at the same time kind of criticizes her and tries to deter her into more pacifist angles. However, the way the movie kind of goes, we just kind of snap into that resolve sometimes. Although I will say the movie kind of leaves it a little ambiguous whether or not she actually did learn that lesson or not.
Yeah.
Possibly leaving up for more sequels. I don't know. But I could understand why a lot of people think she's not likable, therefore the movie sucks. And I think that's the whole point of the movie, is that she is supposed to be unlikable. She is very toxic to almost everything she does because of how angry she is. So whether if that works for you or not, it really comes down to personal references. I can relate to her on a pretty extensive level, but again, the way it kind of resolves itself throughout the film, I feel like it was a little too ambiguous for my taste, but we'll see. We'll see. Well, do you guys have any final thoughts? Would you give this? We're going to do this first thought style. Well, what are you going to give it? I give it a thumbs up. Pretty solid movie. I enjoyed it for the visuals and the action. Believe it or not, I actually thought the actions were better than Big Hero 6, but just a little bit. Just a little bit. But clearly has its amateur styles of telling a cohesive story in a mass market way. What are your thoughts, Mark?
I think I give it a thumbs up as well. Like I mentioned previously, audio mixing, sometimes it can be a little hard to hear the characters, and you have a pretty decent sound system set up here. Also, I think the score in a lot of action and even chase sequences leaves a lot to be desired. It's not entirely memorable, and with the characters not being as expressive through animation, the music really could have helped pick up a little more slack there that it kind of doesn't. So I think it kind of dampens, it brings both of those down a little bit. That being said, just because it is an animated film, and a lot of people think, oh, it's an animated film, it's going to be Teletubbies for kids, we don't have to worry about anything. Technically, the dog voiced by Michael Pena, who only the robot understands, so don't worry, it's not like there's a talking dog, though we do suspect he might be a robot. He does drop the F-bombs, but they're bleeped out, so if that's maybe something you maybe don't want a younger child being exposed to, if you think this is going to be like a Big Hero 6 movie, just maybe be aware of that. I know some people are more sensitive to that than others.
Yeah.
You don't hear anything, but you know.
Yeah. Big Hero 6, I believe, is very PG, but if there was an extensive rating on this would be like PG+.
Yeah.
Because it's for kids, and the violence and the deaths are implied and all that stuff, but I wouldn't say it's like PG-13.
Ooh. For a film that, death is, a little bit of a theme in it, there are some deaths, I will say just as one little nitpick though, that kind of just get, snap, and it's like, okay, that's done.
Thanos style
in some ways, really. But in regards to that, the villain, I actually really like the villain in this one because like ever since King Candy, I love King Candy as a twist villain, but then after that, it's just gotten so much like, all right, calling it, twist villain, whatever. Okay. We just don't, it's the whole death of the villain in animated film thing. The twist villain, this is really fun, really good. Has some pretty a little creepy imagery towards the end. So just be aware of that
I love
too.
that.
Yeah. I love it too. But I feel like it's only fair to, as a quick pro quo.
Yeah, so
there are a few provisos, a couple of quick pro quos.
So for you parents who are a little nervous about dark imagery, don't worry. Give your kid like maybe an extra year and then watch it.
Yeah.
If you're that worried. Jared, what's your rating? Do you give it a thumbs up to, or a middle, or a down?
I give it a middle, only because
So rating.
Yeah,
Very
so
cool.
rating. I give it the middle ground because there's a lot of things I like in it. There's a lot of things I'm kind of like, okay, I get it, fine.
Wow.
Again, I one final nitpick from me is that the mom is too oblivious to how her...
Yes.
Because it's clear she has, like, a heartbreak. She has a traumatic thing and tries to fill that void or that sadness with robots. But it goes to the super extent of... I'm just ignoring my daughter completely, even though I care, supposedly. And it just hammers it in a lot, and I just was like, ugh. But besides that, overlooking that, middle of the road for me, I was fine with it. A lot of good animation stuff in it that could be better here or there, but overall, middle ground for me.
Yeah, I love Constance Wu, and she's a great voice actress and actor, fresh off the boat, and
Of course.
crazy radiations. But yeah, no, she seemed way more oblivious, and there could have been way more signs of her actually struggling as well, not just Mai.
Yeah, just because, like, again, this movie has influences from way more movies than things that we give it credit for. We've just recently, even through Coco, seen the whole the father walks out on the family. It's in the first 5 minutes. I don't think it's a spoiler. And how that person copes with it. She almost gets to Timmy Turner parents' level of oblivious, but just not as fun or funny.
Yeah.
So, like, that is a nitpick I do think is valid for Jared.
All right, well, we got one thumbs up, and a so-so rating, making the second movie ever that Jared did not like something as much as I do. And that previous movie belonged to Justice League. Ooh,
controversy.
But now it's last gen. Wow. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little spontaneous Brocast little review that we did. Not first thought style, but Brocast style. Be sure to check out some of our other Brocast. Mark and I, we will be doing a new Brocast soon, I believe, on a few Netflix shows. Yes?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that, especially the next one lined up. Ooh, boy. And Jared here, is there anything else you want to say to everybody? Shay away.
Yeah, just check out our Brocast. Feel free to check out our weekend reviews. If you feel so inclined, hit the subscribe button, tap the notification bell just so that hopefully you'll actually see it if YouTube decides to work. And yeah, if you want to leave a like if you enjoyed the stuff you see here, please do. It allows the algorithms that Google loves to actually have other people see the stuff. So,
and certainly don't forget, folks, leave your comments in below to tell us whether if you like Last Gen or not, or if you thought whatever. You're like, it's an anime movie. I'll just listen to what you guys say. It don't sound good, bad. Just let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. I am Matt. This is Jason Sudeikis. This is Constance Wu. You can't see who I'm pointing at, so you guys decide who's the Constance Wu.
Dibs.
Tune in next time, everybody, when we review something else to be continued.